everybody. Welcome to CFESA's podcast. Today we have members of CEDA's Academy joining some members of the Young Professionals Committee of CFESA. I'm just going to ask everybody to introduce yourself with your name, your company, and where you're located in the world, your years in the industry, and then your years on either the Academy if you're on the Academy or the YPC if you're on the YPC. So I'll start with Alana Petiti.
I am Alana Petiti with Gary's East Coast Service. We're located in Oxford, Connecticut in the United States. I've been in the industry for 11 years, and I've been on YPC for coming on 4 years now.
Awesome. Thank you. Jeff?
Hey, Jeff Victory with Marcone. We are a food equipment part supplier. I'm located in Dallas, Texas in the United States. I am a committee co-chair of the YPC, been part of the YPC for a few years now. I've been in the industry for about 20.
Awesome. Derek?
I'm Derek. I'm with Jones McLeod out of Birmingham, Alabama. I've been in the industry about 11 years now, and with the YPC going on a little over 3 years, I do believe.
Great. Justin?
Hi guys, Justin. Service team leader at Grap Brothers. I've been in the industry for 11 years. And I've been in the academy now for 2 years.
So Mac?
Hi guys, I'm Macaulay Knight from Arch Catering Systems. We're based in Salford, Manchester in the UK. I've been in the industry and at Archers for probably over a decade. And I want to say I was a part of the academy from its inception, probably in about 2018, and one of the new members on the leadership team.
Correct. And Kane?
Hi, my name's Kane Needs. I work for a company called Marron. We're based in Northamptonshire, UK. Been in the industry for around 15 years, and I'm looking to try and join the YPC.
Awesome. We're looking forward to having you on. So Kane, you were the first apprentice at Marron, is that correct?
That is correct. Yep. All them years ago. I was a very young boy when I first started at Marron, so I was 17 years old when I first started. Kind of happened a bit randomly, I would say, from my point of view. I was training to be an electrician, couldn't find any jobs as an apprentice electrician at the time. Moved on to doing plumbing because my kind of big plans of grandeur was to kind of operate houses and do all the work myself and get everything up to speed. And somehow Marron as a company kind of fell on my lap, and I went in for an interview. Did well, hopefully did well in my career. I've kind of did everything that I can through the company. So I've worked in our spares department, I've been out in the field, and I've kind of managed and done a lot of things over those 15 years. So it's been a really big opportunity for me, and it's one that I'm very grateful of.
Awesome. So when you found out about the opportunity, you applied for their first apprenticeship position?
Yeah, at the time I didn't know it was the first one. It was just a case of an apprenticeship opportunity came up in my local area. It wasn't something that a lot of electrical type apprenticeships were happening. At the time, the country wasn't in the best of positions. I mean, the world economics wasn't in the best position, so there wasn't a lot of kind of trainee or apprenticeship options available. So when it was there, I thought it was a great opportunity to. And at the time, it was quite confusing for me because when I heard of the commercial catering sector, and especially microwaves, that we are and still do a lot of microwaves. When someone says, "Do you want to go and fix microwaves?" It wasn't the thing that I thought of when I was a young boy growing up. Of, oh, do you know what? I want to go and fix those kind of equipment. So for me, it was definitely a strange thing, and I think everyone that kind of works in the catering industry has definitely got their own little strange story of how they got into it. But that's mine.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So with it being the first apprenticeship, do you think that the apprenticeship program there has grown significantly since you started and changed, or is it kind of similar to what you experienced?
It has in different ways. So early on, I was the first one, did very well out of it. The company went on to take more apprentices on. We typically took like one every year to 2 years at that point. Unfortunately, in the UK, what's become very difficult is to onboard someone now as an apprentice. You typically have to call them a trainee because the catering sector is so, I want to say, unwell known in some aspects, but because it's not that big bright lights of being a police officer, being an electrician, not much of a spotlight gets shone in this industry. And it was something that gave me an opportunity, but now trying to give younger people opportunities and to bring them in and try and do something similar is becoming more difficult, from my opinion, just of what colleges and education departments are willing to do and how they can grow. So we now take on trainees and we try and grow from a trainee using colleges to kind of back up education points to kind of give us a well-rounded service technician.
Awesome, thank you. So Alana, your kind of entry to this industry is a little bit different than the rest of the people on the call, but not super unheard of in our industry. You work for a family business. So when did you really start getting involved in the business, and what made you want to get involved with it?
So, I definitely been involved my whole life. Gary's East Coast was founded in 1994 and I was born in 1997. So, I feel like ever since I came out of the womb, I was part of the family business. But when it comes to being involved, so my mom gave me an opportunity when I was in high school to help around the office, do odds and ends, filing, taking out the garbage, stuff like that. And she did lay me off. And from there, I ended up going and getting into the restaurant industry. And, she told me, she was like, I'm laying you off because you're not listening. You're not doing what I told you to. And, you need to go work somewhere else to understand what it's like to have a boss. So I could be your boss one day too. So, I didn't understand the difference between a mom and a boss at the time. So I left, I got a waitressing job. And then a couple years later, asked me again to come back, help with stuff in the office. So I took the opportunity and I made sure I wasn't going to mess it up. And then from there, I just worked a couple hours a week during high school into college. I had the waitressing job, I had this job, and I was in school. So once I hit college, I think I was doing like 10 hours a week, if that, depending on my schedule, and just helping out still, random stuff around the office. When COVID hit, I was actually graduating college and everyone in the office was sent home. And my mom just kept me, my sisters, and my mom and dad in the office because we all live in the same house. So we felt like it was safe and we could dispatch the techs and no one else would really get sick unless it was all of us together. When my aunt decided to come back, she didn't want to come back. She liked being at home and she wanted to retire. So it gave me an opportunity to get involved full time. Ever since then, I've been full time here and I've loved it. I feel like that's kind of the moment that I was like, this is going to be my career. I didn't really know. I went to college. I went for human development and family sciences, which is kind of like psychology. So I wasn't really sure my route, but I think it helped what I'm doing now here, working with family. But that's kind of where I decided that was my career path, I guess, was then.
Awesome. So Jeff, you work for a parts supplier now, but getting into the industry, you had started a business service company with a partner. What made you want to start a business in this industry, and how did it help provide for you and your family at a young age?
So part of the reason why I started a business is to provide for my family. Little did I know that the first few years would be an absolute struggle to make any money at all. So, I remember us going to our PO box every day, twice a day, just to see if any checks came in, just to make sure that we could pay bills, or are we going to be able to get some groceries this week, that type of thing. So starting out a business is always difficult, as anybody knows. The reason I kind of got into this side of the business is I was on the operations side. I've worked up through restaurants, from flipping burgers to managing restaurants. And essentially, I wanted to just provide a solid service for the industry. I think just in the trades in general, we have a black eye of maybe taking advantage or, charging too much, or, there's all these different negative connotations when it comes to trades. And I used to tell all my guys that you can do 9 things right, and the 10th thing you've done one time wrong is what everybody remembers, unfortunately. So, part of that is I wanted to make sure that I could help provide for my family, but for other people's families as well. So, learning a lot from the beginning of just simply turning wrenches on the HVAC side or working on an oven to where I'm at now is light years. It's hard to even remember all the different things that I've learned, but ultimately it did provide for my family when I sold back in 2018. And so I was able to get a lot of sweat equity out of the business and, set my family up for the future. Now I do work on the supply side of the business. This is an industry that I'll never leave, and hopefully bring my family into it, my daughter and son, as they come of age and, decide what they want to do in the future.
So how old were you when you started the business?
26, 25, 26, somewhere around that time. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive to start a business at such a young age. So congratulations on that and selling it and everything you've done since then. So I'll turn to Derek now. So we talked previously and you shared with me that you entered this industry because a friend told you about it. Do you remember what it was that they kind of told you that made you interested in this industry?
Just the fast pace of it. I mean, it's never changing. There's never a dull moment. It's just from the time you get here to the time you go, you just handle situations and problems, and there's always something to learn too. So I was very intrigued to get in and figure that out.
And can you share with us what you were doing before?
I was a personal trainer, so it's a completely different industry than what I was doing. And so you just deal with people day in and day out, but definitely mix it up, and I'll never leave either, Jeff. I see you flexing.
So Derek, what keeps you here then?
The people. I mean, the friends you meet throughout the way, and all the being here for 11 years, you learn the manufacturers, the dealers you deal with, just the problem solving and the friendships you make, and just like it's never changing environment. It's always fast paced. Like
and the YPC, right?
You never get bored, and the YPC, of course. It's definitely the favorite part about it. With the family and the friends, it's the whole friend group you meet. I look forward to our monthly meetings and all the conferences and stuff. Definitely makes you want to stay in it and meet more people.
Perfect. Macaulay, how old were you when you found out about the industry, and why did you join?
I don't think I ever did actually find out about the industry until I was in the industry. See, when I was leaving school, there was nothing in any college courses or any sort of school curriculum where it was advertised commercial catering. Actually, probably didn't know what a commercial kitchen looked like until I stepped foot in one with a backpack of tools and a job to do. So for me, leaving school, I was kind of chasing every lad's dream at that time, which was to go and play football, or what you guys call soccer. So I was looking to do that. Didn't really work out. I was traveling 3 buses to football training and 3 buses back home each day, and all of a sudden it just become a little bit of a grueling time for me at that point. So I remember speaking to a friend I went to school with, and I just said, look, have you got anything? Where are you working at the minute? How's things with you? And he tried to explain to me that he fits kitchens, and I couldn't see past your generic kitchen at home. The first thing I thought of was just a domestic house kitchen, worktops, microwave on top, little stove, that type of thing. And I kept asking him, is that all you do, is just fit small kitchens in houses? He was like, no, big kitchens. So I came into Archers, or the Archer family, working on the service side of the division at first. And that was primarily just in the office, just doing administration work and keying jobs on, sending them out to the lads. Eventually I got the itch to go out to site and see things and work on the tools and see the other side of the job, which just made me sort of fall in love with it all that more. I think it's the job satisfaction side of completing a first time fix. You go to a dishwasher and the solenoid's not working, you change it, you get the machine back up and running, and the customer sees that as magic. You can't believe what he's just seen, and that's the first time I sort of seen that and thought, yeah, I like this. So I would have been about 17 when I got into the industry, and I've not looked back. And I think Jeff alluded to it earlier, I can't see myself working anywhere else.
And do you have any reasons that keep you here specifically, or?
I think it's job progression as well. I think it's seeing the way the industry is moving. I think from going going, out of the office, just doing basic administration, to sort of now starting projects and seeing the difficulties of that projects can bring, handing them over, and again, just seeing the client on the other side of the fence so happy with what they've got. So I think job progression, starts to finish, that sort of keeps you involved, that keeps you where you need to be.
Awesome. Justin, you fell into this industry like many of us have. Can you tell us how you found out about it and what attracted you to it?
Yeah, so I think a very echoing of Kane and Macaulay's journey in. But when I come out of college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it was sort of a pick a trade, and it was random pick. I wanted to be a plumber. I don't know why. It was a random draw. Come out of my college course, completed that, and there was no opportunities anywhere. And I remember I stumbled across a trainee engineer role in a small-time company just around the corner from where I lived. And I remember going there, first day, it's like, right, the boss was, you come out on tools with me, and the joy on the people's face where you repaired their equipment for like it was a life and death situation just for a dishwasher not working. It immediately made me fall in love with it and just bringing that fulfillment to the customer's needs. So yeah, 11 years in now, and I can't see myself doing anything different.
Yeah, I feel like pretty much all of you have said, you just kind of fell into this industry, whether it be from birth or other interesting ways throughout. And that it's just a lucrative industry that's able to provide for yourself and your family and has a lot of upward momentum possibilities as well. So I think that's awesome. I just want to go around and have everybody say what their favorite part about the industry is. So Justin, if you want to lead us off with that one.
Yes, it's the people. Coming across the different characters and yeah, it's definitely the people within this, the different characters, different roles, changing your perspective of how you have to change your personality for the customers as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Macaulay?
I think it keeps changing, to be honest. I remember when I first started out, and obviously being on the tools, there was just something about working on gas, electrics, water and waste, plumbing. I was speaking to friends who were in a similar type trade, and they would either just be an electrician working on electrics, or just a plumber, or just a gas engineer. I think what's a great niche for this industry is the fact you get to kind of work on them all. So yeah, I did enjoy that. And then just sort of, again, alluding to what Justin just spoke about, connecting with other people, other like-minded individuals in this industry, getting ideas on what they enjoy, what they don't like, connecting, social networking. It's certainly, I'm certainly warm into it now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kane?
I think I'm going to echo kind of what Justin said, to be honest. Like, people make the industry. I think you meet some really fantastic people, from people that may just do pot wash, people that are managers of site, chefs. Everyone's got their own kind of unique story, and being part of the kitchen, being part of servicing the equipment, and kind of, it don't matter what level you get involved in. I think the variety of people you get the opportunity to speak to is really a very powerful thing, and something that's quite humbling sometimes, to see how other people have come through their life and how they've ended up doing what they're doing. So I think for me, people is definitely up there, and it's always good to hear these kind of things, because I think the big thing about these types of meetings where people are talking is that you realise very quickly that everyone's got a very similar story and very similar values to kind of what we're all enjoying about it as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys are just saying people because we're all on a call together, but appreciate it. All right, Jeff, what's your favorite thing about the industry?
Well, I mean, I've said people in the past, but I'm going to look at it from a different point of view. It's almost like you feel like a superhero because of accomplishment, right? I think we're all in this industry to help people, to meet new people, and that's a great byproduct of it. But at the end of the day, you feel like you've accomplished something. You feel like you've helped world opportunities come to life. So, one of the gentlemen mentioned it earlier about working on a dishwasher, and that was the, life-saving opportunity for their customer. Those are the things that I think we don't give enough credit to, is we're actually helping people every day, where if you throw a pebble into a pond, that ripple effect happens. So I think it's the accomplishment of coming through when nobody else was able to or didn't want to.
Derek?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what Jeff was saying, and Macaulay. You get these customers that call in and their fryer's down or their grill is down, and they're losing business for the day. They're losing money for their family, for their employees, and you get somebody over there and they fix it the same day and get their business back up and running. They're so thankful, hopefully grateful that you took care of them when all you were doing was your job. And so it is very rewarding every day to take care of all these people and keep their business running and food in their family's mouth as well.
Alana?
From both ideas, I mean, people is definitely, people in the industry is a huge part. And then just being the niche community, not everyone does what we do, but it's also, you're becoming a superhero when you fix it, like Jeff said. So I think both those, I could bounce off both, and I agree with everyone's point.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, we've been talking the CEDA Academy and the YPC for almost a year now. And, our first meeting, it was pretty quick to realize that we all had very similar end goals. We may have had a little bit different challenges in the UK versus the US and how things are set up, but just the need for technicians and support staff in the companies and just general awareness of the industry is high. And I think it always helps when you work with good people and people that you can get along with and that are passionate about what we're doing. I want to switch gears here a little bit and talk more specifically about the Young Professionals Committee in CFESA and the Academy and CEDA and what they're about, what we're working on, and maybe what the future will look like. So, Alana, when did you hear about the YPC and what kind of drew you in to join?
So we've been a part of CFESA for a while now. My mom's also on the board right now. There's different committees and stuff, but I didn't really fully get too involved until my older sister, Lindsay, became a part of YPC, and she was the co-chair. And at I believe it was my first annual conference, YPC hosted an event, and she wanted me to go. She really wanted me to be a part of it. I was hesitant. She's my older sister, and she kind of tries to throw me into a lot of things, so I wasn't really sure what she was setting me up for. But the second I joined the event, I just felt like I was a part of the committee, and from there, I joined the first. We had to convince my mom first to be able to both be on a committee, and then from there, I was able to. We did the calls together, and I got myself pretty involved very fast because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with people similar in age, doing the same things that we're doing, and running ideas off of each other.
Awesome. And I know we talked before you applied to be a co-chair a couple of years ago, and you were kind of hesitant about it. What were your concerns, and why did you ultimately decide to apply?
Well, I would be taking the position of my sister as co-chair, which she did a very good job. So it was big shoes to fill, that it felt like at the time. And I wasn't sure that I was ready. Once I talked to you and Heather, though, and you guys kind of gave me the boost and told me that it was something I could do and I was capable of, I was like, well, if you guys think I could do it, I'll do it. And from there, I feel like I just made sure I took the position and, did what I could to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I mean, you and Lindsay, your sister, both had really successful terms as co-chairs, and got a lot accomplished, from our scholarship to starting Young Professional Symposiums, this collaboration with the UK, and a lot more things. What was your favorite moment as co-chair?
It's hard to pick one. I've had a lot. I think the in-person meetings are always so powerful to me. And honestly, the symposium's great. We've had 2 successful symposiums. I'm excited for this next one. And I feel like every year they grow. So, and this collab, like I can't pick one.
Fair enough. So Jeff, you shared your first term as co-chair alongside Alana, and now you're kind of taking over the reins and Derek's stepping up with you. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment since joining the YPC in general, not necessarily as being co-chair?
I mean, to Lana's point, there's a lot of things that we did over the last year or even 24 months that kind of led me into the applying for co-chair. I know that as YPC, we've done a great deal of work on the scholarships. But I mean, everything's a team accomplishment, that everything's very collaborated. People jump in, lend helping hands. So I guess as my biggest accomplishment since joining is just taking that step and joining. I mean, that sounds cliche, but I haven't been part of the YPC for my entire young professional career. Now I'm kind of aging out of it, but I got heavily involved over the last several years, and I think that has given me as much as I've put in, to be quite honest.
So with that, what do you think, do you think that being on the YPC has kind of affected your day-to-day life, professionally or just generally?
It's really kind of given me a glass half full approach. I'm very pessimistic, but being a part of the YPC has left me with more positive outlook for the future of our industry. I've always said that, hey, I just need to wait another 5 years, and then because I was always the youngest guy. Now I'm no longer the young guy anymore. So it's good to see that there's a lot more young professionals getting involved. I think that it has pushed me to be more professional as I've gotten older, and wanting to kind of give back to folks that are in my same age range, but maybe not have experienced the same amount of things that I have.
Okay. So that kind of surprises me that you said you're a pessimistic person, because I feel like most of my interactions with you have been pretty optimistic and you looking on the bright side of things. So if that's due to the YPC at all, then
there you go. That's all the YPC.
I love it. So you are going to be aging out shortly. What are you looking forward to or hoping to accomplish on your last year on the YPC?
Along with the collaboration that we're doing with the UK right now, I want to expand that domestically and internationally. So a lot of what I'm going to be pushing our team on the CFESA YPC to do is recruitment and awareness. So I think you'll see a lot more social media, a lot more just outreach in our communities and local trade schools. I really want to push this industry into the spotlight. Kane mentioned earlier, it's just not there. I mean, there's a lot of other jobs that get a lot of fanfare, and this is a very lucrative industry, and it's very rewarding, to Derek's point. So I want to kind of put that in the face of other young professionals and older professionals that are maybe looking to restart a career, because you can learn so much in this industry in a short amount of time that I think there's plenty of opportunity for anybody to get plugged in.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll look back in a year and do a retirement podcast with you on all you've accomplished on the YPC.
Yes. I've already lost my hair. This will be great next year. So.
Awesome. Derek, you've been on the YPC for quite a few years now. What is it about the committee that keeps you engaged in reapplying? Because for those of you that don't know, the way the YPC works is every year at conference, you have to reapply. So if you don't wish to be on anymore, not on if you don't reapply. But we pretty heavily reach out to people at the conference and different events to get them engaged in applying. But Derek has steadily reapplied for quite a few years now. So what is it that keeps you engaged with it?
It's just, I think Elena pointed it out, Alana, sorry. It's just the same young people in the same industry that wants to push the same way that you do, and that's also involved in it. It's just really rejuvenating to talk to people that have the same drive that you do, because sometimes in our industry, some of our older people, they kind of don't have that same drive. So it's very rejuvenating each meeting and just getting the word out there to what we are. It's been very nice.
Yeah. So what is it about now that made you feel like it's the time to apply to be co-chair?
I just love the way that it's moving, especially the collab with the UK, and just everybody's wanting to get the word out there, and just jump in and get started.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing what you accomplish in the next year. And Alana's having a little bit of a hard time stepping down, but
I think everyone should get an opportunity to be co-chair on YPC and be able to run meetings and have that. I feel like it's a leadership role. So I think it's going to be great to see everyone have an opportunity. And Derek, can't wait to see you step into it too. Even though I don't know how to let it go. Yes.
Very big shoes to fill too. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so we'll switch over to CEDA now. So Justin, you're on the leadership team of the CEDA Academy now, and I believe Macaulay is as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what that leadership team consists of and how it came to be? Because it's pretty new, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So there's 7 of us on the leadership team. It was actually a CEDA incentive, but pushed by the Academy members. So passionate Academy members pretty much bombarded CEDA and said, we want to help with the direction of this. And with the need for 50 plus members now, it needed it. So from there, the email went out, and then Macaulay's on it, myself's on it, and then the other 5's on that as well.
So what does it kind of look like? Are there different roles between it? Because that's kind of quite a few people to be in charge. We only have 2 at CFESA. So what made you kind of come up with that number, and how did that go?
I think it was the different roles that we provide for ourselves. So Macaulay's operation, we have designers in there, we have admin staff, we have support staff. I come from it from a service side. We have a director on there as well. So it's just a balance of, for the wider range of the Academy members, what support and how can we mentor them coming through.
Okay. So there's not like specific duties of each role. It's just kind of different segments of the industry.
In short, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so what kind of made you collectively decide that you wanted to have more of like some people in charge? Was there anything that spurred that?
I think, again, I'll forever hold the flag of trying to bring young people into this industry, because as an industry, we struggle to retain young talent coming out. And to do that is my commitment, and I think the leadership team's commitment as well, to say we've got a wider job to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Macaulay, what drew you to become involved with the CEDA Academy?
Well, at first, I didn't actually really get a choice, as the story goes. I was told by my boss at the time, Nick, "Hey Matt, look, just had an email come through, and part of the CEDA Academy." It's like, well, that's the CEDA Academy, So I think it was good that I kind of went in blind and got to get my own opinion of it and experience it for myself at the time. So once I did the first few meetings at conference and got to see the other young people in industry and actually seeing the conference up first and close, it sort of driven me to stay with the Academy and push it and sort of put my eggs in that basket. And now to see where it's grown and to be involved with the leadership team with Justin and the other guys, I think it's a case of, look, we've seen the Academy, we've seen the people in the Academy. I can't speak on what the conferences would have been like before the Academy was brought to fruition. I can only assume that, look, as a young person at these conferences, you would probably be a little bit shy and hesitant to go and speak to other people. Maybe you tend to stick with your peers and your group of employers and kind of just maybe say, oh, so you're such and such a person from that email. Oh, nice to meet you. And then maybe that was it. You might not speak to them again. I think the Academy kind of forced the young people in the industry to actually sit down and speak and hash things out and talk about things. It was nice as well sometimes at the CEDA conference, certainly in the early part of the Academy, we'd sit down with manufacturers, talk about them and new ideas coming up and how we can help push the industry and future-proof it. And I think that's what it was. I think the Academy was a case of being a good tool to future-proof and to bring younger people into this industry, highlight it, spotlight it in the correct way. So just things like that's kind of kept me at bay.
Awesome. And this past June, you and I went to you were at the CEDA Academy, or not the Academy, but the CEDA conference, which I came over for, and we were on a panel together. Was that your first panel at a conference?
The first panel at a conference. Justin sat on one previous. I sat on the one this year, which was awesome, by the way, and I think it went well. I think it alluded to obviously this partnership, and we touched on that as well. And I think how that opens up the eyes for people in the industry and out of the industry to say, hey, look, it's a lot bigger than what it looks like. You guys over in the States, us guys over here in the UK, we're coming together now to really explore this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's always good when we can kind of have everyone see what we're doing and the passion that we have for the industry and what we want to accomplish together. What's the most exciting thing that you've been a part of with the CEDA Academy so far?
To be honest, personally, it's probably joining the leadership team, but I think what's the most exciting that the Academy has done is probably the first overseas trip that's happened this year. Justin was a part of that, so he can allude to that slightly more. I wasn't on the trip myself, but they went over to Germany to go and visit MKN and Hupfer, and I think that's probably going to be the first of many overseas trips that the Academy does. So I think certainly for sure that is probably the most exciting thing that's taken place so far.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. I wish we could do a YPC.
It looked really fun. Yeah, I'm sure Justin will elaborate.
Justin, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with that?
Yes, yeah, thank you, Macaulay. So it was a great trip. It was hosted by MK and Hufner, and we had Wayne and Mark Sumner take us around and pretty much show us their brand, the manufacturers, and the culture of Germany as well. And from that, it sort of felt like a family holiday, if I'm really honest. Everyone got on, everyone was coming in with how they come into the industry. There was no really any differences or competitiveness from our companies. It was all sort of a family trip.
Mm-hmm. Is there any talks in the works of an additional one coming up next year?
Yeah, I think we're exploring out with Justin these talks at the minute, sort of between the leadership team. Whether we look at host, in Milan, whether that's an option, or whether we even sort of keep it sort of here on UK land, and whether we go up to maybe Falcon up in Scotland or even somewhere in England. So it's something we're looking at doing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Have Kane, Mac, or Justin, have any of you been to host Milan yet?
I haven't.
No.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yeah, it's a really good show. Yeah, one of the biggest out there. There's no doubt, and it's a real good experience. And if anyone ever gets the opportunity, take it. It's a very, very good show.
Yeah, it seems awesome. And you've also been to the NRA show in Chicago too, correct?
Yeah, I've done NRA, NAFM. They're the two that we typically do. We work with a lot of manufacturers based out in America, so I've been very blessed to go out to America a lot of times and always enjoy coming out.
Yeah. Awesome. So what part of, well, I guess we'll switch kind of, because Kane, you're not part of the CEDA Academy, correct?
No, yeah, I'm not part of the CEDA Academy.
So I'm personally traveling over to the UK in a few weeks for the FEA conference. Before that, I'll be touring around the UK with a few Academy members, including Macaulay and Justin and Kane as well. Justin, can you tell us a bit about what we're going to be doing while we're over there and what the goal of this trip is?
Yes. So I think we've been sort of at it to try and make this collaboration work and sort of cement our place of what the purpose is we're trying to achieve. So we come together and we come up with the idea of when Olivia's in the UK, we're going to showcase our sector from a UK tour. And again, hopefully to mirror that in the coming months for us coming over to you guys. So it's to showcase our sector through the eyes of operators and suppliers, showing the key companies and the opportunity our sector offers. To start off, we'll probably do a Sunday roast, show you the proper British culture, Olivia, and then we're going to go up to Grapp Brothers from a service perspective and have an interview from Mark Kendall and Natasha. And then from there, we're going to go up to Ernham Hall, where I think you've already had an experience, Olivia. Mm-hmm. Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that one?
Sure. So Ernham Hall is an old English estate, but they've kind of really expanded upon it. So they have a pub there, they do bed and breakfast, they have a wedding venue, and they have, the old hall that's there that you can also stay at. They have horses and other animals. And it's just a really unique Old English estate that we're going to go to and kind of talk to the current CEDA chair, Kristen Hatherley, and they actually service the pub that's there and have helped fit the kitchen, and also won an award with CEDA. So we're going to go check that out and see it, and we're going to have a couple different friendly competitions and interview Kirsten and the head of the estate and a couple other things. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
You guys going to get Olivia some football cleats?
Yeah, bring them down, Macaulay.
No, we're not doing that.
No. Okay.
And then the day after, we head up to Oldham, Manchester, where we will be doing a pizza competition with a company called Linda Lewis Kitchens. Again, that is a company that sort of bridges the gap between end users and suppliers, and they're doing marketing really well. So if anybody gets a chance to find them online, then please do. And then from there, CFESA are hosting a happy hour. I'll let you finish up.
Yeah, so we're hosting a happy hour. If you see this, let me know and we'll try to get an invite out for you. But we're looking to do a happy hour in the UK to come meet CFESA and network with your other young professionals that are in the industry. Going to be at a place called Toga Social, which looks like virtual football, different kind of competitions. There's a big screen, so some kind of virtual competition looks pretty fun. And of course, have some drinks and eat a little bit of food. So definitely looking forward to that and meeting more people. Yeah, and then that'll pretty much wrap up what we're doing over there. That will be recorded in a couple different methods. We're still finalizing that. And then it'll be edited between CEDA and CFESA's marketing firms. And we're looking to break that down into at least 6 episodes that will come out monthly next year. And after those are over, we're working on finding other ways to potentially have some members of CFESA's young professionals maybe come over to see this conference in June. And then in October, when CFESA has our conference, hopefully we'll be able to welcome some of our CEDA Academy friends over here and do something with them as well, and continue making content and seeing how we can kind of highlight this industry and make it a little bit more well known. Because our common goal, along with our quarterly calls that we have and our WhatsApp group chat that's popping off. So with that, Kane, going back to the trip, which part of the trip are you most excited about? You'll kind of be with us for the whole journey, so what are you looking forward to the most?
Probably I would say seeing you experience your Sunday roast. I'm putting my neck on the line in finding a good lunch venue for us. Just seeing companies experiencing things and hopefully out the back of that, hopefully people see what we're doing and try and bring more people into the industry. That's the common goal here, I feel. So that the exciting thing for me is the future, I suppose, and what else we can do off the back of this.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'll be a tough critic and see if you found a good spot. Okay, so I'm really excited about this opportunity and can't wait to share what we accomplish on a broader scale to highlight the industry. So again, we're going to be having that social hour on November 19th at 6 p.m. So if you want to invite, send me an email. Before we part, I just want to go around and have everybody say what they're the most excited for in our UK/USA collaboration with the Academy and the YPC. So Kane, why don't you start us off? What are you looking forward to the most?
I think it's getting to know one another, hearing more about what the similarities are between UK and USA. And, I think for me is where the future kind of goes from here. Do we add other countries? Are there other people as well? I think that's what's most exciting about this collaboration is where does it end? And I think the reality is the aim is just to get bigger and collaborate with more people.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds exciting for sure. Macaulay?
Yeah, I think Kane's just hit the nail on the head there. It's purely collaboration based. Do we make this an international partnership down the line? And I think it's exploring the unexplored. Can we shine light on this industry for the right way? Whether that be down the social media path or individual career spotlights. I think we know what the end game is here, and it's enjoying it along the way.
Right. Justin?
I'm excited about the pizza competition and surviving max food poisoning. No.
we need some disclaimers, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, kickstarting this off, and just for future endeavors, like this is only the start of the journey. The best is yet to come.
Agreed. Alana?
While we haven't planned it yet, I'm most excited for us to all be in the same room someday soon, hopefully, whether it be in the UK or the US. I'd like to see that happen. So,
Yes. That'll be awesome. Jeff?
I love making new friends in the food service industry. Getting some international friends is going to be great. I got to hang out with Kane at the latest CFESA conference, and Kane's good people. So I'm excited to meet Justin and Macaulay in person and see where we can take this thing.
Derek, you're pretty new to this collaboration. I think this is the first time you've actually met these guys face to face. So what are you excited for with this?
I'm excited to keep moving forward and, meet people a little bit more better, and just the collaboration and the similarities to UK and United States as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot with this. Definitely looking forward to going back over to the UK and seeing what we can do to highlight the industry. I'm looking forward to in the future coming over to the UK with some of the young professionals from CFESA and welcoming CEDA Academy members to our conference as well. So I think there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon, and I hope you guys follow along with what we accomplish and what's next. So thank you.
Awesome.